Namaskar, greetings, and gratitude. I welcome you all to another inspirational StarTalks. And now our counting has begun further. So, this is 101 episode today that we are having it at Inspirational StarTalks. And I am happy to say that on the hot seat is Mr. Name Sharma. How are you, sir?
Fine.
Mr.
Yeah.
Name Sharma comes with 30 years of experience as he handles corporate projects professional at the Loha Corp Limited. And with so much of vast experience, why not we also make use of his experience and learn from him? I have my first question with you, sir. It's something like I want to take you to your yesteryears. Please tell us some interesting facts when you were doing your BE and Masters from BITS Pilani.
Yeah. So I will begin with the logo of the BITS Pilani because that has attracted me the most. The first thing which I found was it was mentioned below the logo, Jnanam Param Balam. So I was just thinking what is the meaning of it. So when I read it in the English, it mentioned the knowledge is power supreme. So again, I did some more brainstorming and I wanted to understand what really it means. So I came to the conclusion that in the universe or even in everywhere, we have the data. So someone has to first collect the data, analyze and make it as a information. So I realized that the data has no meaning unless otherwise it is made in a form of information and it is passed on to the next generation or a next person. Is of what value? So when I did the further analysis, I found that this information is converted into the knowledge which the BITS is talking in their logo. Now, once the knowledge is acquired, somewhere it is to be used and some method is to be used, and therefore, finally, it is converted to wisdom. And therefore, it is a series of the events. A data is converted into a information, converted into a knowledge, and ultimately it leads to the wisdom, which we all see is a very important aspect of the generation to go. Then I found that how this institution has started and what really they wanted to achieve and what was the purpose. So I collected the information for the three generation, and the first generation GD Birla, who started the institution, he had in the mind that I will start an institution which will search for the truth. Now it is a very vague vision that how a truth can be found. So the purpose was that my institution should find out the truth, and then he said that he want to cultivate the scientific mind. This means through the scientific mind, my institution will find the truth in the universe. Then the next generation, K.K. Birla, he said that the truth or the knowledge or the wisdom which is acquired by my institution will be used for a service of the humanity. And now the next generation, KK, the now present Vice Chancellor, he says that the basic meaning of the education is to create a value-based education and which will create the roots of the tree and the wings to fly. This means a student who enters in the BITS Pilani, he will have such a strong roots that nobody can destroy it, and then he will create the wings to fly all over the world. So this is how I define the BITS Pilani as an institution. Now, today, if we see, the institution enjoys the seventh rank in the university category, next to the BHU. and 11th in the engineering, and uh, the 18th in the research. And therefore, they have traveled a long way to achieve such a high level of the ranking through their efforts, and also the faculty and the students, good students who have joined them to make the university very influential and attractive. Now, some of the features which I noticed in the Pilani was, one was we all. When I say we all, means our faculty, students, the mess, that is the cook, and everybody was inside the campus only, because it was at a remote place. There were no connectivity of the road, there were no connectivity of the train, and of course it was just a dream to have a air connectivity. And therefore, in such a location where nothing is available, nothing can be seen, how a student or a person can live there in a remote place? So I found that BITS Pilani has created all amenities and facilities which were necessary to not only impart the learning or education, but also the recreational facilities. So they created an auditorium where there used to be a one movie every week. This means the institution had a efforts that in auditorium their students should watch the good movie and recreate and gain the energy. So that was the one feature which is probably is not available all institutions. The second feature was that faculty and the students used to live together in the same campus, in the same place. The bonding and the proximity was very close. This means it was just like a one family and a bonding, and that bonding and family like of the relationship has given us a big boost in learning, as well as understanding the subject, and also grasp and remove the difficulties through that. So these were some of the important features which I learned at the Pilani. And after that, what I found that it became my second home. So today I consider BITS Pilani as my second home, and I frequently visit them. One of the very basic habit, or I would say the culture which they created, was that whatever you have acquired here, share with the people, society, organization, and universe, so that they can also take the benefit of it. Don't keep it close. And the second was, whatever you earn and whatever you have acquired from here, you give back to the society. And that was the second thing which we have learned through the faculty and the owners of the institution, because it was not funded by the government, it was privately aided institution. So at times they had the financial difficulty, but the students of the BITS Pilani have generously given the support to the BITS Pilani to continue their education at the same level at which they started.
This is so good. Very nice. Yes, you all are giving back to your institution. That's so nice. Very nice. So you please tell me, you were a vice president of a company in the year 1992. So now tell us something, your journey since then to the position of executive director in the year 2012. You must have been quite young then.
Yeah. So I will start from first. I became a vice president, and then I will carry it forward to the director. Uh, my one of the objective was to learn, acquire the knowledge, and use that for the industry, because I was an engineer and I was interested in working in an engineering industry. And therefore I was picked by the director of one of the company, and he became my mentor, and he started he started mentoring me and advising me how you should structure your career path. And therefore, because I was young engineer, had a lot of energy, and I could have and a lot of energy, and I would have utilized that energy if I could have had a guide. And therefore, he was my guide, and he said, initially, when I joined that organization with him, he gave me, or he structured my career in such a manner so that I progress step by step. And therefore, in the first step, he said, you are a graduate engineer, you have a technical knowledge, you can do a lot, and therefore work for one project at a time and complete the tasks which are assigned to you. Now it was a new thing to me, new things to me, because I was an engineer, I was not aware how to do it and what to do. Then he said, a very simple language, that there is no work which is hard and there is no work which is simple. And all work are equally simple and equally hard. Now, this particular phrase I always kept me alive, and I started thinking that if the work is not hard, it must be definitely a simple. So that let me see if whether I can do it. And really, I found that work which I was looking as a very hard, very difficult for me to do it, it became so simple by his one simple one word, that all work are hard, all works are simple. And therefore, I realized that it is the mindset which makes the work hard or simple. And this was a very helpful word for me, which I continue till today. Now, the second step, second process which my mentor did was that first he gave me exercise of complete the task in time. This means respect the time. So when I completed that and I achieved that expertise, he added in that another feature, and he said, Mr. Sharma, now you do a task in time, but you have to quality conscious and you have to give me a task with quality. Now it became a two responsibilities for me. I have to complete the work and I also have to complete the work with a quality. So it took for some time for me to understand the quality and how to achieve that quality, how to monitor that quality, how to control that quality. And because in an organization, every work is done by various agencies, various people, different levels, and therefore it became really a very difficult task for me, because the quality control is governed by some another department, production is governed by some another department, and the finance and SCM, that is the material procurement, is by some another department. So coordinating these departments and making the outcome quality plus time, because quality I can achieve, but quality in time is difficult, because now I am dependent. And therefore I learned the second principle, that if you really want to become a successful, you have to be dependent on your peers, subordinates, and superiors, and you have to really cannot be successful unless otherwise you manage your this team. And I have been able to do this successfully. And then my mentor said, okay, Mr. Sharma, you have completed the two tasks or two phases of your career, but still there is a third phase wherein you have to learn few more things. So I said, sir, what is now remaining? Because I have completed your task in time and I have also given you a quality product. So my work as an engineer is over now. Then he said, no, Mr. Sharma, your work is not over. Your work has just started, because now you have to think in terms of the other two very important aspects of the organization. And now from the department or division to now he has took me the organization, wherein you have to think of the commercial aspect and you have to think of the financial aspect. And therefore he said that now you have to produce in time, you have to produce quality, but you have to produce in lowest cost and profitable. Really, it becomes a very difficult task for me to now achieve these three criteria, because two, it was possible. I was engineer, I could do it. Third, since I was not engineer, and therefore it was really a very difficult task for me. But still, I started searching, learning, and then doing this work. And after some time, I realized that yes, this is also possible and I can do it. But for this, in the next question, I will answer. I took the help of the various institutions and the organizations from where I kept learning that how I can do this. Now, when this third part was completed, he said, no, your work is still not complete because your fourth one, which is most important, is still pending, and you have to complete that fourth phase also. Then I said, what is that fourth phase? He said, the fourth phase is now you integrate all these three which you have learned in your earlier three phases. That is the production in time. This means the task you have completed in time, task you have completed with the quality output, and the third one within a lowest cost which a market can absorb it. So these three basic principles you have learned and used and applied in your workplace, and now you understand it and comfortably handle it. Now, fourth one is to integrate all these three and make it the sum total, which is what the organization wants. And therefore, I started working on that. Again, started taking the help from the IIM, IITs, and the other institutions, and also improved my qualification and achieved the integration process also. And then my boss said that now you are eligible for a position of the vice president, and now you can look for a directorship, which I then started working. So this is what my second
This is
journey
so
in the
beautiful.
organization.
Yes, so inspiring. Absolutely. The youngsters should learn from the points that you have given, that they have to be disciplined, they have to be quality oriented, in time, and cost effective. Wonderful, wonderful. Kudos to you. So, you have been a learner throughout. Tell us about your success stories and challenges that you faced in IIMs and IITs.
Yeah, now because I have become a vice president and moving towards the directorship job, and thereafter, it was really a big challenge for me. It was on the two accounts. One was I was from a Hindi medium school in the school, and when I entered in the Pilani, it was really a very tough job for me to move with the other students who were from the English medium. And therefore, one of my basic thought directed and guided me was that I should learn the English and make myself efficient in this, so that I can overcome the challenge faced by it. In Pilani, I started learning it, and when I entered in the Pilani, I was at the 5.75 CGPA level, and when I was finally passed out, my final year the CGPA was 9.95 and above. This has created me a confidence that yes, if I have a commitment and dedication that I can do it and I will do it, definitely I can convert the efforts in the result. And therefore, in the last few years, I focused on the two parts. The first one was the classroom learning, and second was the learning at the workplace. Now, for a classroom learning, I joined various courses at the best institutions like IIM, like IIT, like the Singapore Institute, also in the US, and NPC, National Productivity Council. It was a very popular in my time, and the other institutions who were making efforts to teach the students and tell them that this learning process will improve your work performance at the workplace. And therefore, I acquired the qualification like MBA and also MTech, as well as the other management development programs at various institutions, with a focus to learn there and apply that at the workplace. Now, like one of the course which I attended, which was a project management at IIM Ahmedabad, it was few weeks program. Really, it was very tough because the faculty and then the it was so tough. They used to teach 5 to 6 hours in a day. Even they will not give you more than half an hour, 30 minutes for the lunch. And then evening after 1 hour dinner, they again used to call us. We have to sit there and do the assignment till maybe sometime midnight. So that is the kind of the efforts which like I am Ahmedabad was doing. And it was really very tough to do it. But I realized that, yes, this helps me to achieve something, and therefore I continue to focus and do it. And therefore thereafter I attended various courses with the objective that unless otherwise I learn and apply that in my workplace, I will not be successful. And therefore then at the IIM also I learned that unless otherwise you learn from your previous work, you cannot be successful and apply those concepts in your next work. So what they said that in one of my management development program, that you prepare a list wherein you write down that what is your learning in your previous organization and a previous work. So it was a difficult task for me because I have already forgot what I did there and what was really a problem there and how it was solved. But then because it was insisted by the faculty and the trainer, I started jotting down, and then I made that as a list. And then I found that my first company where I worked, or my first assignment where I worked, the I found that learning and innovation is faster during a crisis period. This is one of the outcome of my learning, which I realized when the faculty at the IIMs told me to think and write one word or one sentence what you really achieved from that. So this was one, that learning and the innovation both are faster during the crisis period. And later on, I realized that yes, in the practical life as well as in the industry, this is one of the concept which is very important and very significant for the achieving. Then the second learning in my first phase was that living and working together creates a strong, long lasting bonding and belongingness. Now, this is one thing which I was not earlier realized, but when that professor asked me to write and think it, I thought it, and I found that yes, really, this is one of the factor which has helped me to create a long-lasting, strong bonding. And now today, I realize that we all students who lived in BITS Pilani, it has created a long-lasting bonding and belongingness, which is today even still prevailing. Then the third one, which I wrote, was that the classroom training and the on-site work is essential and effective learning and skill development process. So this is another finding which came from my work only, that if I joined the classroom training, which I did at the IIMs and IITs, and I applied that in my workplace, essentially it improved the effectiveness of the work. So this was my third finding from my first page, which was very important if you see organization point of view and my self development point of view, because these self development programs many times thought as a programs which is just for a bonus or just a, uh, a thing which employee is given so that he can recreate there and spend few weeks there, like a outing. But it is not a outing, it is really a very important task and a process for the improvement of the organization. Now my second takeaway in my second work assignment was a company which was promoted by us. Today I am working in a Loya Corp Limited. Earlier it was a Loya Machines Limited, and a two-wheeler company. Now, the two-wheeler company was doing very good, very fine, and competing with the Bajaj. And we were one of the pioneer at that time in the two-wheeler industry. And we collected a lot of money as an advance payment through the booking. which continued for some time to survive, for a survival of us. But what really I noticed later on in my current organization, and when professor asked me to find out what really was missing there, why that company failed and closed down. So when I did some exercise, and I find that the LML, which was producing the two wheelers, their leadership has not been able to change the leadership style, and they have not able to cope up with the environment, that is the changing environment, and they could not develop the product which was necessary for the market and which the public or people were asking and aspiring. And therefore my finding from here was that unless otherwise a company adapt to the market and external environment, it is very difficult to survive in a market. And ultimately I realized that the change is the fact of the life. Like we are young, we become old, and then probably ultimately we become a very old. So the change is one thing which is not constant. It is which is constant. Everything else is changing, and therefore the businesses and the organization need to change their leadership style, their product, their processes, their servicing in changing market with respect to the environment. So this was the one of the findings which I found when my one of the management development professor asked me to do. Then the third was a very peculiar one, which is not like a first one or a second one, and that was the one of the assignment which I was doing. It was a project. That project was set up, and we were at a stage of production. It was a currency printing ink project, and Government of India was the sole buyer. There were no other buyers. There was only one company which was the buyer. And somehow we could not get through the order. And therefore, after a project was commissioned, a lot of money was spent. The people were hired and trained, and they were ready to start. They were ready to fly because there were no order. There was only a one buyer. What to do? And therefore there were various alternatives which were discussed. Some said you close it, some said you remove the manpower, some said you do this, you do that. After reviewing all alternatives, the leadership and the management decided that no, this is not a solution, because this is a challenge which is thrown by the market, and therefore we have to invent, innovate, and find out the solution for it rather than going backtrack. And therefore, they said that okay, we will diversify and we will produce a product which is possible to produce and market today by our team and our with our strength. That idea has percolated to down level, and everyone agreed that yes, we can do it, we should do it, and we will do it. And therefore a diversification project was started on a dead product, and a project which became successful, and after few years it becomes a very respectable company, and we also received the order from the government 2 years later. So this is one decision which is really nothing to do with anything else other than probably a wisdom or an intuition, or I can do it, we should do it, and I will do it. Attitude. So I think sometimes the attitude makes a big difference in your decision making, because if you are confident and you think that you can do it, definitely you can do it. So this was the one of the important learnings which I came across the development program and the learning process.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is so wonderful. So, I very proudly say that during my course in IIT, we were not only the batchmates, but coincidentally, we were in the same group as well. And we all got to learn so much from you. How was your experience at IIT Delhi with us? Please
Yeah,
share.
my experience has been wonderful. I believe that all cannot be equal. all thought process cannot be alike, and there will be always a diversity in the thought process, thinking, and doing the way of doing the work. And therefore, I found that our team was so cohesive, had a very strong bonding, but everyone had their own thinking and a way of doing the work, which I liked, because in diversity only you can find the new things. If you all are of a similar mind, then you won't have any scope for the other side. And therefore, my observation is that our team was very strong in thinking, having a very strong bonding, internal liking for each other, but having their own identity, which I think is not very bad. Actually, it is good that you, as you work together, but you have your own identity in a group, which I think you should always maintain. This is the probably a way of life.
Wonderful, wonderful observation, I must say. Now, I come to the last phase of my questioning to you. Please tell us some of your happy moments of your life.
Yeah. Here, because three things which, if you notice from my career, one is I have attended almost more than 10 or 15 management development programs. I did the management as well as the MTech, as well as the other learning exercises, and therefore I was always short of the time, and therefore I had to really distribute my time between three things. One is my life, family; the other one is to my learning, and third one is to my profession, that is my workplace. And therefore it was very difficult to manage these three issues together at the same time, because if you are giving a more focus on your family life, either you will not be able to attend the management development programs, or you will not be able to do a justice to your workplace. And therefore I have allocated the time in such a manner that I enjoy the time with the family, as well as I also learn, as well as also I perform at the workplace. And therefore I have always been advocate of that you manage the time. The one very important thing which I will tell here is that I have not changed my home in last my 30 years working life. I wanted to stay in NCR only, and therefore my family and my house always has been in the NCR. But I worked at a distance as far as Sikkim. I worked in Sikkim for 5 years, go to the Siliguri by air, travel by road, and every week I used to come to the home to enjoy the time with them. This means every week I used to travel 2 days minimum, sometimes 3 days also. Also spend the time with the family, also spend the time at the workplace, and also carry out the learning exercises which I had in the mind. So really it was tough, but I have managed it. Even today, you find more every week I travel. Maybe a 200 flights I must be taking in a year for last 30 years. But I think if you plan meticulously, it is possible. You can give time to your family, you can also work, you can also learn. So it is how you can set your target is, I think, more important.
This is so
But
beautiful.
once you dive in it, I think you will swim.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you have been able to maintain a balance between your family, your learnings, and your corporate life. Wonderful, beautiful. So, do you get any free time for yourself?
Yeah, I
You're always
have.
busy. So, what do you do
I
then?
always, because I why I have a free time is because I work when I am traveling, I work when I am at home, I also work when I am at the workplace, and therefore I never have the shortage of the time. In fact, but my sleep time is 11 o'clock in night to 5:50 in the morning, so my clock is set accordingly. I never sleep later than 11 o'clock. I never get up later than 5:50. And this is only the two targets which I have fixed. Rest of the things are flexible. I reply every WhatsApp message. I may be a member of more than 20 WhatsApp groups. None of the WhatsApp group I leave unattended, and I attend immediately, which you might have also noticed. Plus, the most of the time when I communicate, I try to make a piece of paper, I send it and circulate among the people. You might have also seen that, like for this particular startup, I have sent you maybe a two, three, four, five bulky material, which you must have disliked it. But it is the way how I work, that unless otherwise I give full information to a person who is interested in it, he will not be able to understand it.
Yes, you work meticulously. So organized you are in your thought process. Thank you. Thank you so
So it's just
much.
a way of life. I did nothing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Just a usual actually. I do everything like this only.
Wonderful. We know that. So, my last question to you. So, what do we call you in one word? Who is Mr. N.C. Sharma?
Yeah, this is something very tough question, and really I don't know how I should reply it. But I think the best word which you can call me as a philomath. Philomath is one term which is used normally for those people who love, who have the love for learning, who have the eagerness for the knowledge, and who are curious about the world, about the information, about what is happening and going on. So I think people who are like that are called a philomath. And the philomath is a Greek word actually, and it is derived by philo, that is nothing but a lover. And then the another is the methanine. This means the to learn. So those lovers who have the interest in the learning are called a philomath. So I think I have described it
Wonderful.
in a
So, you have enhanced our
just
vocabulary
try to
also. The
no
listeners would
just
also.
just it came to my mind, and I thought that I can put it if it fits in. I don't know whether it's really fits in my character or a personality. I don't know.
It
That
does.
only
It
you can
does.
judge. But I only can say that probably I can be best described as a philomath.
Wonderful. All the best to you. Best wishes to you. And may you keep learning always. And we keep learning from you. So nice that you came here. And you are here in my next innings of Inspirational Star Talks. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Good day.
you. I took your long time,
No, no, it's
and you
perfectly.
encouraged some more. I really have loaded actually. That is what I would say. I should not have loaded you today.
No, no, it's perfectly okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you, my dear audience, for being with us in this lovely conversation today. I am sure you are also enriched today. So much to learn, so many takeaways from a conversation with Mr. N.C. Sharma. I will come back with another personality who has inspired my life. Have a good day. Bye bye.